Glad you're in this morning. Lots of stuff happening over the weekend, but the main stuff we want to focus on are the things that are impacting your life. So let's get into it. Folded like a lawn chair because you knew they would. I mean, after all, they're European. We spank them. That's what we do. I mean, the French roll over on everything, don't they? Trump secures the biggest win of all, trade deals with the EU. Because again, remember, they came out clapping like, oh, we're not going to do anything for you, Trump. And he's like, yep, but who's your daddy? As part of the deal, per Trump's description, the EU will purchase $750 billion worth of energy from the U.S., agree to invest $600 billion more than the bloc is already investing, open up its countries to trade with America, and buy a vast amount of military equipment. A vast amount. Trump also noted that tariffs for automobiles and other EU imports will be a straight across rate of 15%. So we are still putting a tariff on the EU on some goods. However, he said 50% levies on steel and aluminum for U.S. trade partners would remain in effect. So we're putting a tariff on them. And then on top of that, they're still putting 50% levies on steel and aluminum for trade partners. So we're getting a huge win. Not only that, it's not clear if any concessions Trump made in the deals because Trump came out and stated that it's going to be 0% tariffs across the board, EU on us. Like, what did he do? He just walked in and dropped a gun on the table and was like, hey, look, we're going to just smack you around like a child until you give us what we want. Like, my goodness. Wow. Trump revealed last week that Japan would invest over $500 billion in the U.S. in perhaps the largest trade deal ever made. South Korea is working on a trade proposal before it faces a tariff hike at the beginning of next month. There is an August 1st deadline, supposedly for all countries except for China, and they get another 90-day extension. So he's still working around with China. I don't see how that's going to go. But regardless, the big win here being Japan and EU, who are large trading partners with us. So Trump just smacked them around until they basically gave him what he wanted and they folded. So, yeah, not only that, the Trump team is claiming a $5.1 trillion investment from abroad into the U.S. I've looked up those numbers. It's definitely $3 trillion. I don't know where they're getting the $5 trillion from. I guess it's more like promises. Oh, yeah, sure, we're going to do it. But regardless, $3 trillion is an astronomical number, and realistically, it's probably somewhere in between. So let's say $4 trillion. Nobody's ever done that before. This is amazing. Of course, you guys all heard about the stabbing. There's some things that, of course, the media are leaving out, and we're going to touch on that. So there was a huge stabbing in Michigan at Walmart, and he has been charged with terrorism. Gill, a resident of Afton, Michigan, which is around 90 miles northeast of Traverse City, was charged with 1 count of terrorism and 11 counts of assault with intent to murder, Up North Life reported. During a press conference on Sunday, Grand Traverse Sheriff Mike Shea said Gill has a history of assault incidents, controlled substance violations. This is the ugly POS right here. And according to some reports, the good guy with the gun was identified as Derek Perry, who witnesses saw charging after the attacker and holding him until law enforcement arrived just a few minutes later. This is the hero. This is your good guy with a gun. There were lots of people in that Walmart. The media initially reported that a man with a gun did nothing. They lied. The initial reports coming out of CNN, some of the other left-wing, stated that the man with the gun did nothing and folded. This is your hero right here. It's caught on video, 100%. I watched it. This man held him at gunpoint and made him disarm. This is a hero right here. A man with a gun stopped somebody doing evil. And y'all need to remember that. Sheriff Shea said that Gill used a 3.5-inch folding knife, stabbing people near the checkout line at random. Only the ages and sexes of the victims have been released. 6 men, 5 women were wounded in the attack, with the oldest being an 84-year-old woman and the youngest being a 29-year-old woman. One of the victims was a Walmart employee. 4 of the victims remain in serious condition and 7 are in fair condition, Munson Healthcare said on Sunday, according to the Detroit Free Press. Sunday update from the hospital is a positive development after 6 victims were described as being in critical condition and 5 were in serious after the attack. Today, Monday, it has now been confirmed that all are out of critical condition. They're all looking to make a recovery, which is fantastic. Now, the question that nobody's talking about is, why did he do it? For it to be terrorism charges, it has to be politically motivated. What was this man's policies? What was he trying to violently enact? Where did they get this from? What information are they not giving us that they could charge him with terrorism? What is his political motivation? I would like to know that, and there's a lot of people online who are already making assumptions, giving it was a knife stabbing. I'm not going to do that until we get more information, because right now this looks like a deranged person who went around stabbing a bunch of people, and we don't really know why. But he is being charged with terrorism, which makes you think, what was his motivation? Barry, need to start running to Kenya, man. Need to start running to Kenya. So there's a lot coming out. So those of you that remember the Durham report that was supposed to eviscerate Trump and show he was connected to Russia and came out as $35 million and got a bunch of bupkis. Well, guess what? There was a classified annex that was attached to that report that was completely redacted. Guess what they found in that? Yep, that Hillary Clinton and the stooges that are associated with her, going all the way up to Obama, basically allowed it. This puts Brennan and Comey directly in the crosshairs to being charged. Again, I have come out and stated that they're not going to touch Obama. Obama's going to run to Kenya. He's going to do something. They're not going to get Barry. Barry deserves it, but nothing's going to happen to him. And I would be shocked if Comey or Brennan do see a trial. They're definitely going to be brought up and pulled into some sort of Senate hearing for some sort of committee and do a closed-door session and grill them. That's probably going to happen. If it goes beyond that, I would be shocked. But Durham apparently knew who was behind it all along, and of course, they redacted the information. Let's get in the story. Forthcoming revelations from former special counsel Durham's report will expose Russiagate controversy, showing that Hillary Clinton and the FBI leveraged a Russian collusion narrative against President Donald Trump, CIA Director John Ratcliffe said on Sunday. Again, Hillary Clinton found the Russian spy, worked with him, paid for him to fabricate this. What hasn't come out yet and what's going to come out is underlying intelligence that have spent the last few months making recommendations about final declassification and sent that to the Department of Justice. That will come out in the John Durham Report Classified Annex. And what that intelligence shows, Maria, is part of this was a Hillary Clinton plan, but part of it was an FBI plan to be an accelerant to that fake Steele dossier, to those fake Russia collusion claims by pouring oil on the fire, by amplifying the lie and bearing the truth of what Hillary Clinton was up to. Again, if you go back in my prior stream, I outlined this verbatim a week before this has come out, that this is what happened. Ratcliffe told Baramato, much of the testimony that Clinton, former FBI Director James Comey, and former CIA Director John Brennan provided to Durham or Congress in the past 5 years is frankly completely inconsistent with what our underlying intelligence that is about to be declassified in the Durham Annex and what that reflects. Acknowledging how Attorney General Pam Bondi has a new strike force tasked with evaluating the evidence relating to the Obama administration's efforts to drive the Russia collusion allegations, he added, it is a different Department of Justice, a different FBI, and an opportunity to look at how these people really did conspire to run a hoax, a fraud on the American people against Donald Trump's presidency. And for those of you who know Dan Bongino and what he gave up, he came out this weekend and made a post that is rattling a lot of people. Come on, Dan, you just need to tell us what's bothering you, man. So I just want to read this in full, because this is a man who is an upstanding citizen, served his country, went in to serve his country even more after giving up, I think it was $11 million a year for his podcast. And now he has come out and fought with Pam Bondi about Epstein. I'm sure he's doing other fights that we don't know about. And he has made this post about how rattled he is. And this is not a soy boy latte kind of guy. This is a hardcore man here. Listen to this. During my tenure here as the Deputy Director of the FBI, I've repeatedly relayed to you things that are happening that might not be immediately visible, but are happening. The Director and I are committed to stamping out public corruption and the political weaponization of both law enforcement and intelligence operations. It is a priority for us. But what I have learned in the course of our properly predicated and necessary investigations into these aforementioned matters has shocked me down to my core. We cannot run a republic like this. I'll never be the same after learning what I've learned. We are going to conduct these righteous and proper investigations by the book and in accordance with the law. We are going to get the answers we all deserve. As with any investigation, I cannot predict where it will land, but I can promise you an honest and dignified effort at truth. Not my truth or your truth, but the truth. God bless America and all those who defend her. Respectfully, Dan. Man, send chills. This is a man who has seen things, gone in the FBI, now has the wool completely pulled off of his eyes, and he's seeing it raw, and it is shaking this man. Like he knew it was bad. He knew it was corrupt, but he has now seen the full totality of the corruption, and it is shaking him. Whew. So, what was it, Dan? Was it Epstein, Hillary, or something else that's bothering you, man? What's got your goat? What's bothering you, Dan? So, Ghislaine Maxwell gave DOJ info on 100 people linked to Epstein, her lawyer states. This is an interesting story, something that I didn't even know regarding Ghislaine. Convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell gave the DOJ information on 100 different people linked to child sex predator Jeffrey Epstein. Her lawyer, David Oscar Marcus, told reporters on Friday, according to the New York Post. Maxwell met with the DOJ on Thursday and Friday and was grilled by Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, answering every single question, according to Marcus. This was the first opportunity she's ever been given to answer questions about what happened. The truth will come out about what happened with Mr. Epstein, and she's the person who's answering those questions. The Trump admin is pursuing multiple avenues to release more information on the Epstein case after facing criticism for its handling of the investigation. Yeah, child predators need to go to the wood chipper. Come on, Trump. We all heard that you didn't care, but this is real, man. The DOJ is also requesting that federal judges in New York and Florida unseal grand jury test transcripts in Epstein and Maxwell's case. Federal judge in Florida, an Obama appointee, denied the DOJ's request earlier this week, saying that her hands are tied and she does not have the authority to release the sensitive records. Yeah, but they have the authority to do nationwide injunctions? Please. Maxwell is in the process of appealing her conviction, and some commentators and legal analysts have floated that Epstein's co-conspirators providing more information to the DOJ in hopes of securing clemency from Donald J. Trump. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, the woman deserves to burn, but at the same time, if we can give her something and she exposes and convicts 100 pedos and they all get to burn, I might take that deal. So that's what kind of good news I want to leave you on. Maybe there's a glimmer of hope for Trump and Epstein that something's going to come out of this. He's heard the people. Again, he is a populist, guys. We make enough stinking noise, he's going to be like, maybe I took the wrong direction on that and recalibrate. And this is Trump recalibrating, and I hope something comes out of this that we can see some pedos burn. Go wood chipper, go. Mouthy out.